Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I am bringing to you all is the top need to know tips for the New World Arenas update that we just received yesterday at the time of recording this video. It's been out for just over a day and a few hours now, and I've got some tips for you guys to kind of keep you on your toes towards the start of this update. And the reason I would say they're need to know ones are basically because they're going to help you get set up with some of the new features, as well as not get caught out by some of the things that might have changed that you might not have seen yet, because there is a couple of little things where people have been a little bit tricksy in the chat, that sort of stuff, trying to sell things for a bit more than they're worth, and also to give you guys some heads up about some upcoming things in the game. So the first thing is the first few tracks or track that you do of your PvP track. As you guys can see, I've completed my first one now. I'm onto the silver ranking and I'm starting to work my way towards the first checkpoint here. But what you will notice is when you get to each of these checkpoints, you will get 3 rewards that unlock and are available for you to pick up. Now, if you're anything like me on this first track, there wasn't anything all too amazing. And to be honest, the stuff that was good, like the larger potion packs that contain some of the craft mods for the brand new PvP only perks, were pretty expensive. So what I did was save each of the rewards, and when I got to the end, I hadn't chosen any rewards. And what you can do is you can click on the track and it says you'll be granted 300 Azoth salt for when the next track starts for each one that you didn't claim a prize for. So that's 900 additional, plus the stuff that you get as you're going along, and then the bonus for completing it. So as you guys can see up here, I am at 7,370 Azoth salt, which means if something decent comes up, there is a very good chance that I'm going to have enough to buy it. And of course, this is capped at 100,000, so you can get plenty of this going. So I would implore you, for the first few that you do, at least, if there's nothing particularly that jumps out as amazing, save it up so that you can get more of this salt to be able to buy yourself some stuff. Of course, if you've got the Twitch drops as well, which I know are not working fully right at the moment, but when they do come in, you'll get a few thousand extra there, depending on how many you've done. So you should be able to get some nice stuff going for yourself there. Now, one thing as well that I would really like to mention to you guys is that we have a double XP event coming up at some point in June. They seem to indicate the earlier side of it, so in the next 1 to 2 weeks, we're expecting to see it on a weekend. So I would think that it's going to be over the next 2 to 3 weekends, we'll probably get that up and running. I will give you guys all the relevant information here on the channel as soon as we get news on that. But what I wanted to say about this is we know that it will be double XP in gathering, in refining, and in weapon XP. So getting your hands on some of these raw materials. As you guys can see, I'll try and scroll it above the camera a little bit. Loads of these materials in the bank here and to the side, you guys can see it all. Try and stock up on a little bit of that, because obviously the gathering you're going to have to do when the double XP is active to level it up. But the refining is something that you can stockpile some raw materials and do once that comes around, which obviously will get you more of those trade skill aptitude containers. This is particularly useful if we go ahead and look at the smelting one. Now, as you guys can see here, mine is currently level 3, nothing is saying. Some of these levels are pretty rubbish. I know, I'm aware, I'm a big noob on some of these trade skills. But if we have a look at the smelting here, this one is, of course, the third iteration, so 1, 2, and 3. Third one being right back up at the top. When you get that tier 3 trade skill aptitude cash is where you can get the smelting gear from. Now, most servers, the smelting gear prices are through the roof, and to be honest, I can see this being the case everywhere because it is still a very scarce resource in comparison to some of the other sets. But this is for good reason. The smelting set obviously gives you a lot of good bonuses and can mean that you get multiple more Asmodium per day on your daily craft limit. But if we take a look, let's say for example at the smock, which is of course the chest plate, that's starting on my server at 20,000 gold coins. So these are going to be worth opening on that day, even if you already have a full set, because once that day or weekend, I should say, comes out for double XP, you're going to be able to rack through these levels very, very quickly on the refining, or double as quickly as what you would normally get, and therefore you're going to have the best opportunity that there's going to be for a long, long while to get your hands on as many of these pieces, or the potential of as many of these pieces as you can. So my recommendation, along with the new addition of the brand new nodes and respawn times, which I'm going to touch on later in the video, is save up a little bit, wait for that event, and try and smash out some of those pieces. Now, similar note to that, obviously, like I mentioned, we're going to get double weapon XP. No, I'm blocking the life staff and of course, the ice gauntlet there. The life staff I have 20, ice gauntlet I have 13. Basically, what I was going to say about this one is if there is any weapons like the bow, we're looking at you, and also the spear, which if you guys haven't leveled up, they've been destroying you in the arenas. This event is going to be a really good time to start leveling these up. Again, I'll bring you more information when we know, but hopefully sooner rather than later, because some of these weapons are destructive. But also, even if you don't want to use it necessarily right now, things that have been buffed like the bow, I am definitely planning to get to level 20 because this thing is an absolute beast right now. Its day has finally come. It's very, very good, so I'm definitely going to be leveling those up. So the double XP event is going to be the perfect opportunity for that. Now, again, quickly touching back on the rewards track for the PvP, this one is going to be around using up your faction tokens to buy things like your daily cooldowns on things like your expedition keys, also your 3 daily cooldown on your mutation keys, and as well the gypsum orbs, anything like that if you want it for the level ups of the expertise, or just indeed the umbral shards once you've got stuff higher level. This is because you can get the rewards that will now be bags of faction tokens, and with that combined with, of course, the daily bonus to faction missions that you get, the first 3 per day being a 5x to those faction token rewards, you're going to have more than amply enough to be able to buy all of these rewards every time they're off cooldown, and therefore you should make the most of these every single time you can so that you can stay ahead of it. Most of these expedition keys, if you've got a group to do it, or you can find a group, will make you money just by running them. The mutated ones you always want to have because they are the best way, obviously, to get yourself the umbral shards. So yeah, you definitely want to keep on top of these cooldowns from the faction shop because the faction tokens are much widely available after this update with the introduction of the rewards in the PvP track as well. Now, again, sticking with the fashion of the PvP track, this is obviously one of the brand new things. Some fast ways to level this up are going to include, of course, the forts. These were pretty busted when this first came out. A lot of these are being strongly contested. For example, Fort Windswood here, or Castle Windswood, depending on, of course, what your server's got it leveled up to. It gives you a global consumable bonus of plus 10%, so it's a really, really good one. Lots of people fighting over it, and when it's not locked out due to war, you're going to have a lot of battles around here. Everfall, again, has been updated now so that you get a global Azoth salt bonus of 10%. All of this stuff is increasing open world PvP, so although these have been nerfed, that should be noted that the castles or the forts have been nerfed right now. They've increased the time it takes to capture them because people were just basically exploiting it and recapturing these over and over again to continuously get a ton of PvP experience. They are still worth doing if you're out and about. You should go around and do open world PvP. It's a great way to get experience in Azoth Salt, and pairing in the forts when and where you can with this is a great way to do it. My favourite way has, of course, being the brand new 3v3 arenas. These things are pretty quick generally, especially if you're on the winning side. It's a nice bit of PvP XP, so you can get yourselves leveled up pretty quickly. But also, Outpost Rush is a really good way to get a decent chunk. It should, however, be noted, if you press the scoreboard button, for some strange reason, it's been kicking me out, and I know a lot of other players have had this problem as well, where you press the scoreboard button and it kicks you out of the Outpost Rush lobby. So if you are going to do this, try to ignore the scoreboard. It's been very annoying for me a few times. Slightly towards the end, I've pressed it, forgetting that it is bugged for whatever reason and been booted out. So until that's fixed, you know, just steer away from it. But yeah, it's still a really good game mode to get yourself the PvP XP and Azoth Salt. And of course, the wars are really, really good, but they are much more inconsistent. And obviously, you've got to be able to get into the wars. You've got to be able to claim a war, that sort of stuff. So really, the fastest ways for I've found is open world PvP if your server is getting involved with that, or indeed the 3v3 arenas if not, because these generally seem to be the most quickfire way to get yourself involved in PvP wherever you are in the world. Now, some of the brand new PvP perks seem to be very, very good, especially in the arena setting, but also in the war setting. And a lot of players have been asking how and where you get these. Well, of course, they are rewards from the PvP track. If you go ahead and have a look here, you will see that you get Salt Vial packs added in as a currency later on. You get prestige equipment, emotes. You can see down the bottom here that each time you level up to a new tier, you get rewards added. But what you will get right from the recruit tier is the opportunity to get potion packs, and inside those potion packs you will see some of the craft mods available for the brand new PvP perks. Now, you can go on to, for example, the Forge here and have a look on the Warhammer, and if we scroll down we'll see things like Purifying Crits, which tells you that you need a Tonic of Levi or Tonic of Levi, and this will then allow you to put this Purifying Crits onto a weapon with your Timeless Shards. But it does seem that these are bind on pickup, or for the most part the ones I've seen are bind on pickup. I've got a couple of them, and the ones I've seen in chat, people have been kind of saying they're buying on pickup. I haven't seen any that are able to be traded yet. I have looked on the trading post, haven't seen any. So if you have seen some that are not bind on pickup from the rewards track, do let me know in the comments. I'd be eager to see which ones are tradable. But as of I'm aware right now making this video, I would say that most of them are not tradable, so therefore you're going to want to get them through the PvP track. And if you are wanting to craft an item with it on to make it something like refreshing move with one of these on, then you are going to need to be able to level up your PvP track, get lucky with the rewards to get the right one that you want, and then of course claim that to be able to get that craft mod to put on with the timeless shard to make that piece. Now the final thing that I want to quickly cover in today's video is to not overpay for materials. Some stuff, like we know the orichalcum nodes and the star metal nodes, have been increased in terms of the amount of spawns that there is, and they've also had the respawn rate matched with iron, so decreased by a lot. And also it's worth noting that the gold and platinum respawn rates have also been decreased to be in line with the silver ingots, but we haven't had more nodes of those ones added. Now for example here, let's go to orichalcum ore and have a little look here. This is actually selling for 190 each. When I got on earlier, this was up at 2, and obviously before this update it was much higher, but these are still quite steep prices when a lot of the times you are able to go to some of the spots, even some of the spots that were popular before, and actually get your hands on a lot of this orichalcum, because people are not camping it as much as it isn't in high demand now, as it is much more frequent. I'm going to have a video coming out for you guys very shortly on some of the new spawn locations for this and some of the good routes, because there's some really cool ones that you can do. So do have a look around, do see if you can get your hands on that, and of course go to the regular older spots. Like for older spots I mean things like the boat in Rest of the Shores was always a good one, as well as down here in Reekwater over to the side of the mountains there was a few orichalcum nodes up here. Star metal and such, we were looking at places like Cutlass Keys where you've got the whole route around the settlement here, which is great for star metal ore and iron. So all of that stuff is much more accessible, so do not overpay for it. If you don't have time or it's pretty cheap on your server, by all means purchase it. But don't get caught out. A lot of people in chat are trying to sell bulk amounts of this for a much higher price than it's currently worth, so do watch out for that one. But that is going to be it for today's video, guys. So hopefully this video does give you some nice heads up tips and tricks on things that you can be doing, things that you might want to wait for, like the double XP event, and a couple of things to watch out for in terms of the PvP reward track, what you might want to pick, what you might want to save up for, and how you can save up, and as well just a last little thing there on the pricing of some of the raw materials being a little bit more expensive than they're actually worth right now. So do watch out for that. Check the prices on your server to see what's going on. But hopefully this video helps you guys out in some way, shape or form. If it has, please do make sure that you drop a subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't done so already. Drop me a like if you enjoyed the video, as it massively helps to support me and my content here on the channel. And other than that, I will catch you again very shortly on a brand new upload. So thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and peace.